Three, two, one, and we're live. Hi, it's me, she. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day holiday long weekend after that full moon. And we're back on September 9th, 2020, and that makes it a 4-day. September is energy number 4 itself for the month this year. And this year of 2020, those twos add up to 4. So that gives us a double energy foundation for this month, as well as a triple 4 energy for the year. Guys, this month is where we have an access for many, many aha moments, deja vu moments this year. Not just this month, but for this year because of the number 4. And especially this month is important because it's a pivotal change in consciousness. There's a shift that's happening right now until we get into October. When we come into October, we're talking about looking forward, getting a peek preview of what 2021 will bring. So we will get into October, which is a month of 5 energy when October comes. Right now, I want to stay in these 4s. But you do need to understand these energies of this 4 because it's very, very powerful. So we've talked about numerology and what it means for the 4s. 4s are stability. If you start to see the numbers 4, triple 4s, 1 4, 2 4s, that means you're on a correct path. The more 4s you see, the more your angels are trying to tell you that you are really striving in the right direction. And so that's why I really wanted to try to tap into the energy for you today so you can get, a foundation, a stable foundation, and an understanding that what changes you need to make in your life right now and how our lives are going to evolve this year or have been evolving around this energy of the 4. And being that September is this pivotal 4-month that we have to start asking our questions this month, before this month ends. What work do we need to do? What still needs to happen before 2020 comes to an end? Mars is in retrograde. It started today, September 9th. That's another reason why I'm tapping into this. That means that Mars retrograde is about looking inward in our inner journey. So we can take the time to explore what actions that you need to pay attention to. How do I find that inner peace no matter what others are saying or doing around us? There's a lot of things that we don't have control over right now. So pay attention to what you can control in your life and make that plan right now to improve your life. Because the good news about these 4s is breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthroughs. So if you're feeling stuck, it's time to get unstuck by enduring and having the courage to bring about sustainable, long-lasting change in your life. Remember, we've been talking about that purging. Sometimes we need a breakdown so we can experience a breakthrough. Without this breakdown, there is no breakthrough. This 2020 has been a significant year for breakdowns because it's like identifying what no longer serves us. So we have what hit us also early this year, the forces of change caused that pandemic, COVID-19, social and civil unrest. We have a lot of political tensions world over. It's on overload. We have fires burning. The 2020 has lit the heat that is boiling all around us uncontrollably. I was seeing that the fires from California now has spread all the way into Oregon and Washington State, in Europe and Spain. They're dealing with uncontrollable fires. They just cannot seem to get in control. So it's important, guys, that you try to see truth all around you. If you're not seeing the truth, then you're seeing what you want to see. And so then it becomes a falsehood. It becomes something that you are not purging or paying attention to, because you're staying safe in being blinded or blindsided, because the truth sometimes it's hard. It's hard to make the changes to be free, but we can't be free if we can't trust that our happiness and our peace is waiting through the other side of the door. But you have to be able to see the truth that will give you the key to walk through the door. So we're still in the point of a lot of work that's taken place, but please have faith that the number 4 energy this year is what is needed to help us rise to the occasion, to build a foundation that will be rooted into an awakening in 2021 that lead us to our destinies and our true self. So when we come together like this, when we come together in a circle of energy, of forces that is working for the common good for all, everyone has their hidden agendas. Everyone has their own agenda. But right now, somehow, some way, as a human race, we do need to understand where we are as a people on this planet, on Mother Gaia. When we can make it to the better side of 2020, if we can, when I say the better side, I mean when we have done the necessary inner work and the outer work in our lives to align ourselves with our truths, then you will know that when you're looking in the mirror and you find the one who loves you the most, you truly, truly have arrived. I'm going to start this reading. That was something that has been brewing in my heart. I had an incident this weekend that literally knocked me off my feet. I literally was saved. I literally almost died and was rescued and brought back to life. And when I say that, it is not a story of allegory or a story of parables, but it's a story of reality of what happened to me. But I want to get into the synergy of the 4 on this day 4. Next week, I will go more in detail with you and share with you that experience that I had in an almost death experience where the angels and the Spirit of God came along and saved me. So, in the spirit of gratitude, our energy card, I did actually, before the reading and my meditation and my prayer, I asked what is the energy of the 4s and what is the energy of this reading, and the spirit of gratitude. So last week I was telling you I wanted to try to do the reading completely with this new deck I got called The Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reed, but it was not cooperating. I tried even, doing the cards on live on the screen, and it would just not happening. So we had to go back to our old power players. But I did do it, and that is what came out. And so when we look at the 4 and the 3, we are at a 7, energies of the 7. And so that means with gratitude, and confidence, in the spirit of gratitude and confidence, we have actually arrived with the confidence of this spirit of gratitude. That card has a lotus petals, and inside of like a it looks like a coffee cup or a pot that a flower is growing. But if you look closely, this pot actually has ears on both sides. So it's like our seventh chakra, where we are in the energy, or what we call the spirit of thought, spirituality, ego, um, consciousness, transcendence, surrendering to God. That is where our wisdom comes into clear view. So if we are in a seventh energy and we are channeling those higher spirits, those spirits that bring us or give us a prospering power, the power of communication with the divine. So this week, if you sit in prayer, try to connect directly with your higher power. Whatever that higher power for you is, a God, is it divine, or whatever that sacred conversation that you have when you're engaging in prayer. Take time this week, especially this weekend. We have 9/11 coming up here in the United States, and express gratitude and ask to be of service to that most powerful being, so that your attention in these spirits of the four will actually allow you or assist you or help you focus on the smallest aspects of your life. Guys, because it's almost like if you could wave a magic wand with this powerful, powerful seven energy right here. If you could actually just snap your fingers, make a wish, everything you need will come without effort. Obstacles start to peel away or fall away. Your purpose becomes clear, the kind of prayer that will help you prosper and live on that abiding, deep one-on-one love and gratitude with spirit, with God, with creator, with creation, with that higher force. So become that magnet for miracles this week, because I'm going to tell you, when I share my story with you, it is the source of the power that saved me. It's that source, that power that dragged me back to life. And I was conscious, but unconscious, but was fully aware that I was in presence of spirit, even if it was just for a blink of an eye. So now is the time, with these energies of four, to awaken to your truest potential, and do it with the spirit of gratitude. We're now going to go to our regular cards and see where we are. So the power of the jade and distant healing, that has been actually powering up these cards. And we're going to see where we are. Because really September is the ninth month of the year of 2020. We're in the ninth month. So being in the ninth month, that means we have October, November, and December to go. We really are 3.5 months away from 2021. And so now is the time is to take advantage of these energies of the fours to power up, understand spirit and the gratitude of spirit and the blessings that are waiting for you, that are about to come, where you'll start to see in October. That's why I said in October is the 5-month changes, but those changes can't happen if you haven't taken the time this month to make sure that your foundation and the things that needs changing, things that need to be removed, things that need to be or outsourced, or put away or stowed, or change. Just change, because that change is coming next month in October. So everything we've been doing up to this far, good, bad, or ugly, whatever you've been working on, it is going to show the preview in October. We'll start to see what 2021 will look like or mean for you. Oh my goodness. We just got a bunch of cards that flipped over, and I think that was it. So we're going to start. Whew. Guys, I hope you have fun this holiday, Labor Day weekend. Because September, that was the end of the journey for September. That was the end of, and I'm not sure how they came, but we're going to see if we can just put them together and see how they flow, because we got a few cards here. So and I'm going to put the spirit of gratitude here, because it is the powerful power, highest level in our energy or our chakras. When we're talking about the crown chakra, that is the spirit of gratitude, or the connection to the body. And it is to know. It means you have achieved that one-on-one in the mirror with the one who loves you the most, or you're finding the one who loves you the most. And when you find it, when you see it, when you know it, you can see and you know the truth. Nothing can hold you back from your peace and happiness. Oh, this is very concerning, because the truth be told is the coyote. And that coyote we've talked about before. The coyote is one of the tricksters. Excuse me. My throat is, again, like I said, from my accident I had this past week. Has left me speechless. But my voice is coming back and it's getting stronger. But so here we go. The coyote as a trickster has come because even though it's a number 3, and 3s are a signal in universal law of numbers for creativity, when it's combined with this coyote, we're talking about a fire. We're talking about, and right now, we have been living with Mars, and which I've been telling you, which is signaled as the war of God, the God of war, which is Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and as a number 1, and what we call the first sign in the cosmos, that means personal power, action, will. It actually falls into that element, or those 7 energies of a 3. And so when we're talking about 3s or creativity, we're talking about authentic power. But your authentic power, because we're looking at this little coyote, is a sign of deception. That it's a sign of trickery, of hidden truth. Sort of like the moon, when the full moon is out and it says we have another 29 and a half days, which we are in that period now after the full moon, to renew what we started, to start again, to clear up our journey of mistakes or things that we thought was going. It's like, for example, you find a great restaurant and you think going to this restaurant because you've heard amazing things about this restaurant, the chef, the food, the ambiance, the atmosphere, and you get there and right from the start when you go to at the check-in desk, it's nothing but disappointment, from the person who checks you in. They're not nice. They seem to be rude. To the waiter who comes to your table to take your order. And then when the food comes, the food isn't right. It's just disappointment, disappointment, disappointment. And so the coyote, as a sacred trickster, because remember, we're in the spirit of gratitude, we're in the seventh energy, so it has to be sacred. Everything in this energies of the four are sacred. Those fours are angel numbers. Those angel power numbers are sacred. They are the language of the gods, so to say. So when the coyote is trying to basically, he's like a detour. So you get to the restaurant, you order your food. The food isn't what you expected because you got a high rating about this restaurant. So now it's like a detour for what your expectations was. So how do you endure and change how do you change? How do you shift? How do you take this energy of this coyote and his divine deception to help you shake the shackles of what you don't deserve or what you didn't want? Sometimes, when things appear that we will get everything we want, we think they're here. We think we're going to get the best meal of our life if we use the story of the restaurant. And then we only find that this coyote is in the restaurant and he is everything. He's the opposite of everything we had hoped to experience. And so that's where we are in the energies of September, these fours. When I say that September is a time to take this energy of the Mars being retrograde and look inward, look around your life, see what changes need attention. Because with this coyote here, guys, it is the first card that is appearing to say the lessons are of confusion, conflict, and trickery. And so remember when I was saying at the beginning of this conversation we were having about there's no breakthrough without a breakdown. And so without the breakdown in this meal, since we're talking about the restaurant, if there was no breakdown in the communication in this experience of this well thought out dinner date or dinner plans, without the breakdown in those plans, and then things would have went perfect and you would have left the restaurant feeling satisfied and good, then you would continue to come back to the restaurant. You would continue to do the same thing. You would continue to experience the same meal. And so with the coyote here, it's saying you can no longer be seduced by what you think you desire. Because if it was true, if you saw the truth, the superficial, the sparkly, shiny things, when I said, try to see the truth, not what you want to see, but what is the truth. Because the coyote is setting the stage to show you, to disguise in front of you what is a good meal, what is a great experience, and what is not. And you have to be able to say, I'm not going to stay and eat a meal that does not satisfy me. I have to be able to say to the restaurant and its owner, my experience was detoured or disappointed. And I don't know if it was just a bad night here at the restaurant, or is it just not for me? Because everyone else that I got a recommendation from said it was amazing. But for me, it was not amazing. And so sometimes that's life. What is good for you is not good for me. What's good for me is not going to be good for you. And so you have to be able to see your own truth. And so we are where we are because we're not going to be in the same place in our growth, in our desires, in our journey. And so as we walk up that mountainside, that mountaintop, you have to think about what tools do you have that's going to help you get to 2021. The blade. And that's a 6. And 6s are perseverance. Excuse me, guys. So when we're persevering, we are looking at energy of 6. And when we're persevering, we have clarity and knowing. We know where we're going. We have a light. We have a light that is guiding us, showing us, giving us the vision, the imagination to continue on the path. And so when I was telling you about the 4s, when you see those numbers 4, like you look at a license plate, the car sitting in front of you, the tag has, 4s in it, 2 4s, 3 4s, 444. When you look at the clock, it's 4:44, or it says 14:44, or you see those repeating numbers, or you look at a phone, you're about to dial a number you've never dialed before, and all of a sudden this number has 4s. Those are angels. Or you go to buy something at the store and the receipt comes up with $4.44 or $40.44. That is the angel saying to you, you are on the correct path. So persevere. Do not be discouraged. Do not turn away. Keep going. You're going in the right direction. You're doing the things that you need to do in order to have your breakthrough. So the blade, remember, the blade is a sharpness of the mind, the body, and the spirit. This blade is pointing upward. It's summoning the power of heaven, the power of spirit. We have arrived to the top, the 7th energy, even if physically our bodies are still at the bottom of the mountain. Our aim is up towards the heaven. Our power is anchored here on earth from heaven. So if you still need some healing, guys, this healing tool, this weapon, this blade, and we've talked about this before, and it has shown up because the energy of Mars can be, the god of war is very resourceful with his weapons. He is witty, he is quick, and he is decisive, and he is fire. And so when this blade is here, you can use it as a tool of fire, which means if the fire is to burn it all down, which as a society, as the earth, as us humans here, some of us are using this blade to burn it all down. And the earth itself is also taking course to burn areas down. Fire can be purification once it burns off, so that death can happen and then life can rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Or if it is being used with anger, that means it's toxic. That means it will slash, it will stab, and it will kill. The sword is also, or the blade is also the element of the tongue. When we use our tongue as a sword, it's actually air. It's like swinging that sword in the air. And when we think about air, those are the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And so they are very quick-witted. They're very quick-tongued. They're very sharp. And when they are wielding their sword high in the sky, if they are not careful, if you're not careful, you can see yourself being sliced, cut, and severed. And so we want to use the sword as an energy or blade to actually, as an energy cord, to heal. To heal means, again, we go back to 4. 4 is very structured. 4 is very rigid. In persevering and making those conscious changes in our lives that no longer serves us. Because if we use the blade wisely, if we use the blade as an anchor of power or tool, the way Aries uses his sword, then to keep the flames of the fire from exploding, then we use it to feed ourselves. We can use the blade to summon down our dreams, our goals, our wishes, helps, resources. In my case, the angels came and cut me loose so I could be free from death. And so when it's used with the best intentions, then relationships, like I said, you could just wave that wand and make a wish without little or no effort, and things will dissolve themselves out of your life. The plans that you need to put in place so you can see the future in October will start to improve your life by purging the things around you that up until this point you have not done. Because I think earlier in the year I told you guys, if you don't do it, it's going to happen for you. And when it happens for you, it's more painful. So our intention may have been to hang on, or that something was we felt was needed in our life, and we decided to not see the truth and hang on. And now this month of September, We're going to have those aha moments for the rest of the year, but specifically this month, because significant shifts that are out of our control are happening. So when November 15th comes around, and it's funny how Mars is retrograde, and our elections here in the United States, coming up in November is when Mars will come forward, and Mercury around that time is going to start to go retrograde, and then that's when things are going to really get crazy. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Completion. So we've had this Ouroboros now. It just keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back, where the snake or the serpent is actually going around in circles and digesting his own tail. And it's a number 9. And 9 is attainment. 9 is we are actually receiving. We have gone around this circle of life, and we've talked about the directions, the east, the south, the north, and the west. And if you see those gold arrows, that is around this circle, along again with those colors that I call the rainbow colors, or the colors of the chakras, that all things, like in these 7 energy rings, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's just the nature of life. So the seed becomes a flower and the fruit, and the acorn becomes the tree. And all of human relationships have that same cycle. As we say, some people come into our lives, into our space, into our journey for a season. And that season has a cycle of life. Sometimes it continues to cycle. It continues to plant seeds and bring forth flowers. But in order for a flower to bring a transformation to a seed, or the fullness of a flower, it has to be nurtured. It has to be planted in good soil. And then it has to be tended to. It has to be weeded and flowered and watered. So, for example, birds and bees, they pollinate. They go around from flower to flower. And as they are visiting the flowers, they're taking a little of its essence. And everywhere they go, they drop that pollen and feed the other flowers. When it rains, when Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, Creator, the feminine aspect of Creator, brings down water or rain to nourish the earth, which the earth itself that we all share is made up of mostly water, and so are we. But we need that cycle. We need the air, the water, the earth, the fire, in order for the completion of life to exist. So if we have burning happening, when the fire simmers and the blade, or the fire has been put out by the water, then the water nourishes and soaks the earth again. So the life that went under to protect itself at its root can regenerate itself and bring about new life. That is where we are. 2020 is a cycle of life. We have come to an end of completion in a journey up until this moment in time. And so the shift is significant right now in consciousness. When I say consciousness, consciousness is something that we all share or a part of in the bigger or like in Walt Disney, I mean, not the Wizard of Oz, you have the wizard behind the, curtain, and he's the almighty wizard. He can send her home. And so it's like, we got to go see the wizard because that's the only way I'm going to get a heart. Got to go see the wizard. That's the only way I'm going to have courage. For us, the wizard is creator. And so creator is shifting after the storm. In the Wizard of Oz, they had the big storm that came and knocked Dorothy into another dimension, onto another plane where she met and learned the life lessons of good and evil, and where she learned to have compassion. And this is where we are sort of in our Wizard of Oz story for 2020. But you have to be able to see the truth, because if the truth is a wizard behind a curtain, you will remain lost in that alternative world. You will not be able to see the new world that is coming into being, that is being processed. And that's why I said in October, in your life, in the energies, hopefully we can see, we'll start to have a preview into what spirit, into what God is trying to do in your life. But it's not just God, it's you too. You have been co-creating in this process. So if you're clinging on to old forms of being, like I was telling you about the restaurant, if you are hanging on to, the old vines that have rotted, that there's no growth, you're still in places that is, basically life is dying all around you. There's no action, there's no movement, there's only loss. Then you can't move on. You will stay stuck. Your completion is completely stuck. So in order to get that wheel of life, those energies moving, all seven moving and blending from one to the other in a song, in a musical that is waiting for you on the other side to say your happy ending, completion. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. The holy mountain. And it's a 7. I just talked about that 7th energy, the spirit of gratitude, the holy mountain. Wow. These energies, guys, this is some powerful energies. I just knew that I was being called. Like I said, I was kind of in a gratitude and prayer for, me having a second chance at life after what I did experience. And asking God, okay, where do I go from here? Why did you save me? What do you want me to do? Because I have had multiple bouts, as they say. A cat has 9 lives. I think I'm on my 7th now. I have 7 more lives to go. So the holy mountain, we were talking about being at the bottom of the mountain with that blade. And how do you get to the top of the mountain? And in the top of the mountain is 2021. And so if you have, like I said, if you have been purging and you still have some purging to do, September, you have 3 weeks left. Well, because this is now the whole week. We're in the 2nd week. So you really have a good 2 weeks moving into October before the next full moon to do an assessment. You know, it's like it just sit back and pray, meditate, think about where you are, and reflect on what changes you need so that you can make the required shift or the required, path, or what lessons or what courses, if you have to take a class, for example, to learn a new skill, what is required for that skill? What do you need to encounter for that change that you're expecting or that you're hoping for, you've been working on, so you can have your breakthrough, so you can get up the mountain easily, steadily, with patience and persistence. So Native people around the earth, our beautiful, beautiful Mother Earth, recognize, great mountains and the power of these mountains, and they tell stories about encounters that they've had, or elders, or the stories that have been shared from generation to generation, where gods or goddesses, you know, uh, reside in these mountains, and they have had their personal pilgrimage or their personal journey or their personal walk with these ancient spirits. And so, for example, in Greece, you have Mount Olympus, and we have the story of all the Greek gods and goddesses, which is, the history or the mythology that has the great understandings that go alongside of the stories of some of the prophets that you'll find in the King James or Hebrew Bible. Or, for example, you also have Tibet. People take pilgrimage up to, and they actually go through a lot of planning and training and preparation to go and climb Mount Kililash. In Peru, you have the ice-capped mountain where, they say if they can make it to the top of the mountain, they will receive the fire of the earth. They will actually be able to touch the stars and bring the stars down to heaven. You have the mountain in the Bible that talks about where Jesus did his Sermon on the Mount. And so some people even say today, when they do these pilgrimage, or like, I know a lot of people like to go to Jerusalem and experience, that path, those spiritual paths, or like, and then you have the 3 or 4 religions who go there to the sermon or the mount or the temples that are on mounts, that they go to receive blessings at these holy mountains. So we are now in a time where the holy mountain is inviting you to take a sacred pilgrimage. And again, with these 4s, to reflect, to acquire a vision or a new perspective to where you are in your present situation. And it's just keep going back and back and back to where we are. And so, guys, if you have never prayed for wisdom, pray for wisdom. If you have never made a commitment to take a walk of courage with love and compassion, Pray to have those elements and make that commitment until you can see with clarity, until you can see the truth. Because the holy mountain is saying it's time to arrive in that place. It's time to arrive in that place with oneness with God, to be on your destiny or your path, your journey, that, the higher plan that has been set for you, your destiny. If you've ever asked that question, what is my purpose? What is my purpose to life? The holy mountain, if you take that walk, you take that journey, you take that pilgrimage, and you don't necessarily have to get on an airplane or get on a bus or grab a car drive and go to the mountains, but you can do that too if you can. And just sit alone with God. Go find that sacred, quiet place where you can reflect, and do it now. Do it this month. Find that sacred place in your heart and find the truth to who you are and where you are going before October, so you can see in October. So like magic, everything you need will be clear. The holy mountain. Our next card is another 7. It's the rattle. Oh my goodness. Again, these 7 energies are trying to be balanced. With the help of these 4s, your 7 energies can be balanced. But you have to believe. You have to believe. And you have the opportunity right now, today, to call in spirit, use the shaman's prayer of the 4 directions, like that completion, the serpent. The body of this rattle is like the earth spinning on its axle. And so it's time to use the aid of this rattle. Remember, I was saying what tools we need so that we can reach our desired destiny for our future. All you need to do is shake the rattle and call on Great Spirit. The rattle will help guide you in prayer. It will call all the roots of the earth, all the soil, all the good nutrition that is planted here in Mother Earth. It will rise to your call. It will rise by the shake of the rattle to give you your destiny. I'm sorry, I had to reach and get my rattle, so it's kind of like this, but this rattle has like a swing on it, so it goes boom, 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 like, tip, 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 tip. Or if you have a rattle, like a baby's rattle, you just shake your rattle. And when you're shaking that rattle in prayer and in spirit, that means you're calling for wisdom. You're calling for all the nutrition and the wisdoms from the earth. Shake your rattle. The child is another 7. I'm like 7 or 4. It's a 7. The child. And I love the child. So 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Oh my goodness. The truth has arrived. 7 is the spirit of gratitude, the confidence of spirit, the wisdom of God, the innocence of a child. When you can see through the lens, when you can see, and remember, I started this with this whole speech that I don't even know where it came from. I mean, I do know where it came from. It came from a higher spirit than myself that wanted you to have that understanding that it's important for me as well, for all of us, to see the truth. The child knows the way to joy and happiness. Children only lose their innocence when adults take it from them. If you can reborn yourself in time, restart your innocence or your heart with the simple elegance of the possibilities of magic. And in order to be reminded or to see or stay in that childlike state, that's why I love the classics. I love watching those good old movies that brought me joy. Disney is known for that. And as we get older, we start to say, oh, that is so childish. That is so immature. But yet, we are so mature and we're so grown and we're so smart and we, have it all figured out that we continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. And so in order to see what God is really trying to show you, go back to the innocent eyes of a child. Look at Creator, God, the Spirit, the higher power. Look at God with the eyes of a child when you pray. Say those simple, basic prayers of, now I pray myself to sleep, just those simple, childlike prayers will help put you in a state of being where you can take off the foggy lenses and allow Him to see through you so you can see with the eyes of a child what God has to show you. And you will be blown away and amazed at all the magic that lives around you and how easy and simple happiness and joy. Because remember, you cannot control everything around you, but you can control a lot of things that has to do with improving your life. You can control how to make plans. You can control what needs to be thrown out and what needs to be stowed away or what needs to be placed in a separate location. You can control that, but you cannot control other people. You cannot control what's happening in those fires or the floods or COVID. You can take place in how these activities, if you are in position, if that's your career, if that's your job, or someone has come to you and asked for your advice, you have input, but you do not have control. The earth. And it's an 8. And so 8 is arrived, infinity. It's moving. And when it's moving and it still has that 7 in this card, I'm just like, wow, it's just like these 777s. It's kind of like when you are, when you hit the jackpot of 7s, you go and you roll the dice. And they're like, it's 7s, you're a winner, 777 is the lucky number. Because 7 is considered in human clockwise or time, it's like the year of the Jubilee. It's like a reset. it's like the 7 energies are a reset. It's like, can you push a button and reset so that you can continue to advance? And when you're stuck, like, I'm asking you to ask yourself, do you feel stuck? Because the 4 is like a box. So as a square, you are balanced, but you don't want to be stuck inside of a box too small. So if you're feeling stuck, you need a reset. And this month of September is that reset button. It's where the breakdown is happening so the breakthrough can take place, so we can get unstuck. If you watch and look around you, the earth is one of the elements that represents life. We're talking about the seeds and the planting and the earth and the roots and the flowers, because we need our roots to be strengthened now. We need our tree to stand tall. If the wind blows, if the water floods, if the fire burns, the earth needs to hold it all together. And so the symbol of this earth card means the planet Earth, the human body, nature herself. We are all symbols of creation. We all are creators or creatures that had a birth. Human body, we were born, nature was born. The planet Earth was created by creation. And so it's a gift. It's a gift from spirit. All of us in this beautiful earth, and it shows a picture, which I love it. It's very haunting, but it's also very beautiful. It has a stare or glow of if Mother Earth herself is looking at us with all her roots engulfed in color. And again, the rainbow of life. And so we also need to understand that this representation of this natural gift that we have been given to live here on, we have to take care of it, guys. We have to have a gratitude, appreciation, and an understanding of our spiritual life of gratitude. That's where it starts, in gratefulness, in gratitude, in the gift of life, and what the real gift of life really, really means. The earth. Wow. We have 9 cards. The journey. Whew. It's 11. We've been on this journey now since April, which was the 4-month 2019. And I'm thinking in hindsight, I couldn't plan this. It's just the way it is. And if you have been on this journey with me at any point, it doesn't matter if you didn't start as a witness back in April 2019 and you just came along today, or you find this video at some time in the future, you come across me and it was meant for you to be here and now, because we are where we are. We cannot start our journey or any trip or any experience without it having a starting point. And so this journey is here now at this time on this 444 day as an invitation to just step outside the boundaries of your life as you know it, to embrace, a new way of being, to go on a holiday as a pilgrimage. And there's no maps, there's no marked path, there's no roads with signs. There's just this big calling. This calling that is announcing it's time. It's time to find the one who loves you most. And in this card, all angels, I saw a painting. I think it was a painting by Da Vinci, and they were dissecting, these art curators were dissecting the painting and what the meaning of the painting, and one of the persons in the painting, because it was a painting about creation. It was actually Michelangelo. It was a painting of creation where Joseph married the baby Jesus, Elizabeth, and John. And then in the painting, there's an extra angel, and there's an angel, and there's an extra person. And they were having a discussion about, was it an angel or is it a human being? From my perception at looking at the painting, I believed it to be an angel because the image in the photo had its hands across the chest, like our great spirit person, our angel with wings, as well as the wisdom of the isle above his head, his crown, and his halo in goldenness of the sun. It makes me think of an angel. And so with hands across the chest, in blessings I bow. It's time for you to start your own journey. And so by time October comes around, and 11, we do not break it down to 2 because 2s are choices, but 11s are destiny. That you are in flight, on the right path, in this energy of the 4-year. September is the energy of 4. The year 2020 is the energy of 4. Today is 9/9/2020, the energy of 4. The journey has begun. The path is wide open for you to gather everything you need with creativity, with blessings, all the tools, all the magic, all the love is waiting for you on the other side of the door. You have the keys. We have been on this journey, guys, like I said, since April. And with each video, I believe the lessons became more and more clear. For me and for you, hopefully, I have learned to see. Before, on this planet, humans collected from nature. They gathered and they found abundance of seeds, nuts, berries, all type of earth growing elements that sustained them, that took care of them, They talk about the manna from the earth that was provided when they were lost in the desert. The earth here, guys, has everything we need. Do not wander too far or for too long. October is coming. If you are ready, you will have a preview of the bounty that will be gathered and that will be given through this breakthrough after we persevere and survive this breakdown. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. The journey has begun. I'll see you soon. Take care. Next week, I'll tell you my story of a rebirth and a regeneration. Namaste.